Every so often, something happens in solo queue that becomes more than just a story. This is the legend of River Shen. Let me begin by saying everything in this story is true. If you had something similar happen to you, please tell your story. This isn't some sort of green text that ends with tree fitty, and this certainly isn't some sort of Illuminati conspiracy theory. This story goes back 2 years to when I was your typical bronze potato. While I was playing a game with friends, we got into Champion Select and all started calling out roles. The one random didn't say anything until he finally typed River Shen and locked in Shen with Ignite and Exhaust. We really didn't know what was going on, and there was a lot of confusion up until we got into game. He basically just went in the river and stood there. And if we ever asked him anything, he would only respond with River Shen. At this point, I had pretty low expectations for how this game was going to go, as we just had someone apparently trolling running up and down the river. But as the game started, he went top lane, and he ganked the enemy top laner and got a pretty easy first blood. Following that, what happened next was something that fast became a legend. He immediately ganked mid lane, picking up a killer assist there, and shortly after ganked bot lane and got every lane snowballing. He went back to base, bought a Sunfire cape, and he went and soloed Dragon, and he just kept ganking lanes until the game was over and we had an easy win in our pockets. A few weeks later I decided to play River Shen myself, and it didn't really go too well. I ended up feeding pretty bad and we lost the game. But after the game, someone on the other team added me and started messaging me telling me how to play River Shen correctly. He told me builds and all kinds of stuff. I didn't really know what to say, so I thanked him, and then he removed me from his friends list. So at this point, I'm thinking that River Shen is an actual thing, or maybe some popular streamer has done it in the past. So I searched online for River Shen, and I looked for a guide about River Shen, and there is nothing written anywhere about it. So I thought it was pretty weird that I ran into 2 people that knew about it. But nothing really came of it, and I eventually forgot about it. That is until a couple months ago. I was in my diamond promotions for the 2nd or 3rd time, and I picked my champion. I went AFK, and I came back to the load screen, and I saw that the other team had a Shen with Exhaust and Ignite. I didn't really think anything of it because the team already had a jungler, and I thought the Shen was maybe their support. But when we got into game and Shen wasn't in lane, the realization began to sink in. It was just like before, except I was on the receiving end this time. He killed our top laner for first blood, and then he invaded our jungle and killed our jungler multiple times. I was honestly astounded at what I was seeing, and just for old time's sake, I decided to ask him what he calls this build in all chat, and he responded with those same 2 words. He said River Shen, and at this point I'm like,
oh my god.
A few days ago I was talking to my friends and I was telling them this whole story, and none of them have ever heard of River Shen, and if any of you have, please let me know. But one of my friends did say that he saw a comment when they had added Scuttle Crab saying that it was a buff to River Shen, and he didn't understand it. So I don't know if that comment was real, but it got me thinking that Scuttle Crabs really seem to be beneficial to a River Shen playstyle. They don't attack, so Shen can heal up to full basically with Vorpal Blade, and Shen's dash is the same dash that Scuttle Crab has. I'm not saying that it's some sort of conspiracy, but I think River Shen might actually be an inside joke with Riot game designers, and they put this Scuttle Crab's dash in there as a sort of nod to it.